How is it going, everyone? Welcome to more Grid 2019, and we are close to the end, actually, finally, on the final DLC, though I don't think I'm gonna finish it today, but it's fine. I'm not in a hurry anyways. So, it's a little bit loud, holy shit. I actually had it a little bit loud. Alright, so yeah, every other thing has been completed, but not this, so gotta continue here. And the next one is the Mini Miglia Challenge League. Unfortunately, starting in Barcelona, though, well, that's basically the most basic track of Barcelona, and this is probably the slowest car in the game, so that shouldn't be a problem, right? Surely. It's been a while since I saw this car. I think I only seen it in a single event, in an invitational, and then like never again. That's pretty nice that it's back. It's a funny looking car though. I still don't understand why someone will want to make a racing category with cars like this, but I guess it's safer than using a cart, probably. Still pretty funny choice. So the interesting thing, you know, is that this car, it's probably slower than the whole hatches from the first DLC season, but it kind of feels similar. But the difference is that this one is simply a car that was used once in the main career, and then I'm assuming once here, and then that's it. But then the whole hatches have that much emphasis in a DLC season. I think that's just crazy. Like, how is that possible? I mean, I know that I've been complaining about that for a while, but I just don't understand how you waste a whole DLC season with cars like those. It's fine. Here at least they are used as like this particular one gets used as a single event thing, and that seems like it will be the best case scenario. Like every event in this DLC season, at least in the top row, because I'm assuming the bottom row mostly will have the hypercars, but in the top row, having the like every event have a different car, that would be pretty cool, personally. I think this one is not a challenge. I mean, usually the slower the car is, the easier it is to handle for sure, but usually in racing games it even tends to be easier to just win. Also, I'm noticing that the door glass on the car is not like fully closed, right? Like it's like slightly open. I'm not sure what's the point of that. Even more stupid when it's raining, right? you will probably want it. We'll probably want it completely closed, right? I don't see any benefit on having water inside the car. So at the same time, I don't understand what the benefit of not having the glass fully covering the door. Like, what's the benefit of that? Like, it surely is not aerodynamics. In fact, it should be the opposite, right? Like letting air into in the inside of the car doesn't seem very useful. So I'm not sure what the point of that is. It also feels like you cannot even lower it, like it's kind of like, you know, it's like being grabbed by those things so, like that are at the roof. I don't know. Pretty weird. Yeah, that's fine. So obviously in a game like this, it's not like you will see the rain getting into the cockpit, right? Even if you use the cockpit camera, it will just appear that the rain is right in the outside. Well, actually, fuck. From here you can see it more clearly that it makes no sense. Well, I had to switch because I'm not that good with that camera, but you can see very clearly that like the glass gets wet, but you don't have any rain inside, right? And it makes sense, but well, makes sense. Makes sense from like a bad shit standpoint. You wouldn't spend money on something so minor. Man. So I don't remember if I seen how an open wheeler looks from the cockpit while it's raining. I don't think I ever seen that. I remember trying the cockpit view in the Formula 1 car, but it wasn't raining. But if it's raining, you should see the rain very differently than you do in a car like this. Since here you see the... Well, I guess you will see the water droplets like you see it in this camera. That is like it's in the glass. That, well, in an imaginary glass, because it's behind the car, right? Yeah. Well, I assume that I'm not gonna be able to see what happens when you reach level 99 when you are in Prestige, but probably nothing important. If anything even happens, right? Okay, so what's this? This is with the Ferrari. Oh wait, this is a new category. It is a Ferrari, yes, but either a Ferrari or a Ford GT, a modern one at that. Well, I mean, I'm gonna purchase both, but if it's anything like the Hypercar category, one of these is clearly superior to the other. Which one? I don't know. But I will pick the Ford GT because I guess I just like... I like it more, but not to mention, again, it's a very modern Ford GT. At least I think it's supposed to be, right? Like... Oh, I remember seeing this car before, but it was in another category, wasn't it? Well, I don't know, but what's more important here is knowing if these things can compete against the Ferrari or not. Because if they can, that will be an issue. So, you know, the interesting thing is that, you know, when I opened the game for the first time, the first thing that it told me is, hey, do you wanna, like we noticed that you have the season 3 purchase, so you wanna like go there now. But if you went there like to the third season, as soon as you start the game, you won't have money to purchase any of these cars. Well, but you will actually... Okay, none of the ones from the bottom row, but in the top row, since the cars are provided to you without you even being able to choose them, I guess that's how you will make money. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. if you ever go to the bottom, bro, you need at least 1 million to purchase any car, I'm pretty sure, because like the hypercars were also, I think, 1 million or something like that. So the podium here is all full of Ford GT, huh? So maybe I picked the right car. The Ferrari here, I mean, I don't have really anything against it, but it's a model that doesn't seem very out of the ordinary, you know? That's something that I think about a lot of the modern Ferraris that are just... they all look so similar to each other. Like, I remember one model being called Ferrari Berlinetta or something. Looks almost the same as the one right here. I mean, they are probably from the same, you know, family of models, but still. Oh, we dominated with the team in here. Pretty nice. That being said, I think this livery is lacking a little bit. Like, it's obviously supposed to resemble the classic Ford GT livery, but I feel like it's very empty, right? Like, it doesn't have enough things. Like, it's just the color, and that's it. Like, you have the light blue base and the orange stripe, and that's it. There's nothing else. Well, there is the number, I guess, but everything else is kind of plain, I think. And we have two Ferraris at the top. Let's see how long they last. Seems that even the AI has, you know, has these cars kind of dance around a little bit on the corner exits. It seems like they are not super stable, but they are, you know, whatever, right? Like they are not bad to drive, but I don't think they stand out compared to the other ones. Well, they do reach a 7 gear, which is something that most cars in this game don't do. I don't think that means much. They do, well, right there it was the piano, not really the car itself. I mean, this is one track that has very infamous pianos. Then look at this guy in first place, going full speed through the pianos like that. Pretty nice. You're also going full speed to the walls, you know, that those are not supposed to be hit at full speed, or at any speed at that. You're supposed to avoid them. That's kind of what you do with the walls. Okay. I feel like so far, I mean, there probably are still some more categories to see. I don't know, I mean, I wasn't expecting this one either, but I think that of all the cars that I used so far, I think the most comfortable one to drive has been the Ferrari GT that is part of the main game. That one was pretty nice. I mean, I think that the category was something like that, you know, a GT1 or something like that. I don't know what the real life equivalent of the category is. I do know that that Ferrari is used in, I think it's used in the GT3 category in real life. And that one felt very nice to drive. Well, some other cars also felt nice to drive. Well, in fact, the Hypercars are also very nice to drive. But it feels like that Ferrari was just very fun. Well, that one and the ones with the comically large rear wing, those were cool too. But I think that it was more fun to use the Ferraris. Okay. So my team dominated. Alright. Oh, these are the trucks. I hope I wouldn't see them again. But I guess we will see them again. Oh well. The issue is that even though the previous cars I used were not the pinnacle of handling, these ones are kinda like the bottom of handling. These things are not very nice. Already made a friend? That's pretty nice. Didn't take long. You're gonna stay there though. At least on the right side is that this category, these things might be very hard to handle, but they are not extremely fast, so at least that makes it a little bit less annoying to steer. Though in a straight, as you can see, they almost reach 300 kilometers per hour, which is not a show. So how is it going, Wasabi? Hold up, I'll read that in a bit. What the hell? Well, that's my nemesis, isn't it? I'm not surprised. Well, maybe it wasn't. I'm not sure. Well, the issue is that anytime that I have a nemesis behind me, I cannot really look away because they can murder me at any moment. Well, driving into the crowd, I think here it shouldn't be a problem because unlike in rally events, these guys are, well, actually, never mind. With an actual accident here, you will murder them effortlessly. But hey, don't worry, this game doesn't do that. Also, have you decided which Kirby game you're gonna play next, Wasabi? Since you finished Kirby's Adventure, the next mainline one is Dreamland 2, though keep in mind that the Dreamland games after the first one are games that are very hard to figure out what to do without a guide. I personally wouldn't recommend them as games, but I guess if you do want to experience the Kirby series, kind of necessary in a way. You know? Well, not really necessary, I guess that's not the word, but they are mainline games, you know. Kirby 64. Well, Kirby 64... the thing about Kirby 64 is that it has the same issue as Dreamland 2 and Dreamland 3. They are games that you need to find hidden stuff to be able to continue. And unlike something like Return to Dreamland, they are not super easy to figure out where the secrets are. So... yes, eventually you will play Kirby 64 because it is a mainline game, but I feel that if you're gonna play 64, might as well play Dreamland 2 and Superstar. Well, Dreamland 2, I don't remember if Superstar or Dreamland 3 came first, but the point is that play those, and if you don't want to play the Dreamland games, play Superstar. Like, Superstar has to appear before 64, that's for sure. Oh, you didn't play Kirby's Dreamland? That's a pretty cool game. Well, if you don't mind doing that, then my recommendation is play Superstar before 64. I feel like at that point, if your idea is let's play the best the series has to offer, well, yeah, you don't have to do them in order, I understand that, but in this particular case, I feel like it will make sense to go for Superstar first and then 64, right? Like, just seems like the obvious thing to me. If I can get Ultra working, then maybe. What console is... oh, fuck. Damn, I got taken out. What a fucking bitch. What console is it for? Ultra? Was it the 3DS or something? Or it's on the DS. I don't think it uses the touchscreen that much. Yeah, I mean, you can emulate it. Like, if there's one emulator that works pretty well, it's the DS emulator. Well, depending on which one you use, but the one I personally use is... what was it called, actually? Fuck, I forgot. Okay, can you stop taking me out, you fucking waste of breath? Jesus. What was it called, the DS emulator that I use? Fuck. Like, I know that I don't use it often, but I shouldn't forget like this. Damn it, dude. I hate forgetting about shit like that. Because yes, it's not something important, but I have no reason to forget about it. Damn it. Well, whatever. Point is that if you play with the emulator that is most likely the most recommended one, it's gonna work well. Yeah. I remember back then when that emulator didn't exist, I used shit like the Smume or No Cache GBA. Those emulators are trash, but back then it was the only thing that worked, so it's not like I had a choice. But yeah, those emulators fucking suck. I don't recommend them whatsoever. But yeah, the one I will recommend unfortunately left my memory, so That's pretty nice. I specifically remember the Smume being a piece of shit. That emulator was... like, just to give you an idea, like, I remember it frame dropping Pokemon games too. Like, it somehow managed to frame drop Pokemon games. Like, we're not talking now some cutting edge game that fully utilized all the capabilities of the DS. No, no. Fucking Pokemon. Probably one of the games that in any console it's in, it uses the bare minimum the console can handle. And it slowed down on those. That was crazy. I hope this is a win. For the championship, I mean. These guys are... Of course. Okay. I got tired of your bullshit. I will qualify. I wish I didn't, but... Actually, hold up. I forget that I could tune this to make it go fast. Which... I could do. Promise that I'm gonna forget later on that that is there. But we will see how well I can do the quali, I guess. I mean, I don't expect it to be the best time, but as long as it at least puts me close to the leaders and I don't have to deal with every other bitch in the grid, I think it's fine. Oh, maybe I will be the top time. And I didn't even need to change the tuning. If I change the tuning, this will be free. It already is kinda free though. Hey, I'll take a 4th place. Alright. Yeah, can we please be done with this shit? So why are we going on reverse? Like, you know what, I didn't really comment on it because I was talking about the S emulators and whatnot, but this is heresy. Doing an oval race and steer to the right? I mean, what are you doing, dude? That's not the way it works. Like, this is very un-American. It is an insult to Americanness. That's probably not a word, but yeah. Like, come on, dude. Ovals are always to the left. This is like, I don't know. This is how ovals will be in Soviet Russia, not in the USA. And in this case, we know this is an American track because it's Indianapolis. But yeah, this is very heretic. If a NASCAR fan saw this, they will be pretty offended. Probably. I mean, to be fair, there are some ovals that... Well, the only oval I know where normally you steer to the right is in Monza. But that's Italy. So Italians doing things different, I guess, makes sense, but yeah, like, why do we have to do it like this in the USA? We are not respecting tradition. How can you not respect tradition? Also, something tells me I'm gonna be taken out by that guy that is marked as Nemesis, right? that what's gonna happen? Hey, he definitely wants to. I can see his intent. Yeah, I know you want to. I'm not even trying to hide it, don't you? Well, you got what you deserve, fucking bitch. Yeah, I don't mind ending in 4th place. Like, that's enough to win. But yeah. Though I unfortunately didn't go to last place, the other guy. Wait, no, it's not enough to win. No way. Dude, how many times do I need to do this shitty ass race? Jesus, this is taking way longer than it should have. Actually, you know what? Let's just do it the right way. I'm tired of doing this shit. I want to at least confirm that it will work. Okay, let's just be done with this. Because yeah, I might do it again and it might happen the same thing again, so please no, I wanna be out of here. So as you can see here, by looking at the top speed, I'm clearly going faster than before. Can reach 300, well, way more than 300 actually. So that just leaves everyone behind. I didn't want to do this because first of all, this makes the race completely free, but also the fact that if this shit appears again, I need to remember that I changed the tuning, because the tuning is, remember, in the car that you changed it if it appears again in another race. So yeah, that will be bad. But it's possible that this is the last time this shit will show up, in which case, well, I'm glad. Yeah, just look at the minimap and it's not even close. The reason for this is, as you can see in the previous attempt, like any minimum contact can really fuck you up, and especially if you have a nemesis that like purposely tries to take you out. So yeah, I don't want to deal with that again, you know, because this is, all races like this are simply not interesting enough in a game like this. It's not a game made for these races, so just want them to be over as soon as possible, and this is already the 4th attempt, plus wasting time doing a quali, so yeah, let's just be done with it. Though something that surprises me is that the result on the previous one was not enough. I'm not sure why, but whatever. All I know is that it's done now, out of the way. Alright, so can you please not give me this car again? Like, it's not super terrible, but I would prefer not to use it again, if it's possible. I think that it's better to be without it. Alright, then we have another one of these ones. Oh, wait a second, never mind. This is the actual Classic Ford GT versus Ferrari. That's pretty cool. Like, I like the fact that they put them one back to back, so you can kind of see like the old version and the modern version. That's pretty cool. Was this the Ferrari that I remember that it drive pretty well in Invitational? Though I would like to go for the Ford GT. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, and we're in Suzuka as well. Okay. I like where this is going. But so far, Yeah, I don't remember if it was that one, the Ferrari that I'm thinking of. I do remember there being like an old model. No, I don't think it was that one. Okay, track limited, see that? Damn it. Okay, are we doing this? Yeah, we're doing it in reverse. You know, I think it might be the first time that I play in Suzuka Circuit in reverse, and this is only like a small portion of it, but... Oh wait, I just remember... This is completely unrelated to Suzuka or any like of that, but... I just remember the name of the DS emulator. It's called Melon DS. That's the one. That's a very good emulator. So yeah, use that one and it should be very fine. I don't know why I remember just now. Seems pretty random. I guess sometimes, I mean, memory works in very weird ways, you know. Memory works in absolutely weird ways. And yeah, this time I remember. Wait, what the hell is wrong with the guy in first place? He has the rear cover open. Didn't even know it could get open. But I think with a little bit of force applied to it, I think, yeah, you can open any part of a car, or of anything for that matter. Well, and there it goes. So, I'm noticing that the AI is doing this corner ultra slow, but they then do everything else super fast. A little bit old, but yeah, at this point, it shouldn't be a surprise. Ah, fuck. Still not a bad result. Okay. I don't know if the Ferraris here do well against this or not. I guess if this thing show up again, I could pick the opposite car to test it. So I gotta say that those little, I mean, I don't know what they are. They kind of look like flaps that are on the side of the car in the front. They look kind of ugly, honestly. I don't think that the original Ford GT had them, right? Or maybe it did, I don't know. So I don't think this is supposed to be the original Ford GT. Like, it's obviously a very classic model, but I'm pretty sure there were other Ford GTs before this one. Or maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. Don't know shit. I do admit that I struggle quite a bit to keep up with these guys. It's not easy at all. These are all Ford GTs as well. It's hard to tell if the Ferraris will perform well here or not. Maybe not. I guess forget about the Ferraris performing well. I have to perform well right now, and that wouldn't be happening. Yeah, these are cars that are not that easy to handle, as you would expect. Again, one of these guys having the rear bust open like that. What's wrong with you? Surprisingly, I was able to take all those positions right at the end. Obviously not enough to win, but enough to win the championship at least. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I am curious. So far, these are being quite some surprises. I mean, I can already tell you that this DLC season is the best one of the three. There is no doubt about that. Time attack hero with the Lancer Evo. Okay. I mean, that should be fine, right? I don't think I used this car before in this game, did I? Probably not. I mean, it's probably from a category that... Wait, actually, didn't I use a Subaru car in this category? So yeah, that would mean that I haven't used this one. No, I think, hold up. This one is the tuning category, isn't it? So that means that the one I used here was the Skyline R32, which is the guy that is right in front of me, I think. So this is supposed to be Suzuka. No, is it? Yeah, it is. Problem is that, man, why do you have to put it in reverse? Like, why are you like this? Why cannot you just put it in its regular form? I think that, yeah, that wouldn't have been a bad time if I didn't get penalized. Well, penalized. In this case, it simply nullifies the lap time. Yeah, in tracks like this, to me, it's just hard to calculate anything because, like, I'm not used to these reverse versions. Like, it might as well be a brand new track. Because yes, fuck me, dude. Because yes, Suzuka Circuit is a track I'm super familiar with. You know, not the reverse version, that's for sure. Well, the issue now is that for the next lap, this guy... Well, I should overtake him. Unless he starts blocking me like this. Okay, there you go, perfect. Keep going. Oof, almost got off track again. And again, damn. See, that one, for example, I can do it faster, but it's not easy for me to tell. Oof, almost off track again. I'm so close to off tracking all of this. That was... that's a shame. I did that corner very badly. Otherwise, I think this would have been the best lap time. Maybe it still is. No, it's not. Oh, it is. By very little. Okay. Well, I probably don't need another lap in that case, but might as well try. Also, it's pretty likely that the skyline that is in front of me, well, the one that is like the white one, right? Because the other one is an Impreza, but pretty sure that the skyline is the one with the second lap time. Because the fact that I wasn't able to get close to him most likely means that the lap times he's doing are very close to mine. I don't think it's gonna be a faster lap, but I don't need to. It wasn't. And yeah, I was right, that Yuna Nakamura most likely was the guy in front of me. Yeah, that's the car that I use in the main campaign for this category. So yeah, the Lancer Evo here is the first time I'm using it. Also, pretty interesting to me that this game is the only one in the whole series so far that only has two game modes. It's race or time attack, and there's nothing else. And I prefer it that way. But yeah, I also don't mind other modes like the endurance one in Grid Autosport, for example. Well, or the Toge. Well, the Toge ones, as long as they are done properly and not in the way they are done in the first Grid game. I cannot believe neither of those were off track. This is not an extremely good lap time so far, but I think it will be decent enough at least to probably not get first place, but at least I will assume fourth place maybe. That's my guess. Actually, never mind. Not even close. Okay, that's promising. By hearing the tires screech like this, you can tell how hard it is to do these corners properly. Wait, did I lose all my advantage, really? I guess my issue is the final sector, huh? I guess the skyline here is also not really doing the best lap time, so using it as an indicator is not a good idea. Well, that fourth place might not be that bad. Oh, what the hell? What's going on with this skyline? You're doing some pretty weird shit right now, I gotta say. Hey, don't worry about it. I guess everyone has one of those days where everything sucks. Thankfully, that's not the case for me. It seems to be the case for him. Yeah, doing that one at full speed is also not the best idea, but considering that in this game the damages are a show and that you have a corner right after that, I guess crashing the wall might even be the optimal strategy. I don't think it's gonna be the best lap. Oh, it was barely by 100 milliseconds. Well, a little bit less even. That's nice. I like when the time attack you actually use all the laps and you end up winning with that. I still think that it's the format, well, I don't know how I will make it better, but I think it could be better. Wow, really? Well, no, it's too early for the game to compare my lap time to anything. So don't believe its lies. That 1 second ahead doesn't mean shit. None of those were off track. That one was the best lap time. At least it's a very short track. This Skyline guy definitely fell off, because he's not even getting close to the top times after that first event. I think I could have done that faster, but I don't need to. It's most likely enough to win. And even if it wasn't, the fact that I already won 2 of this in a row... Oh, well, yeah, that's fine. But I just realized the Skyline guy actually has the worst lap time. Very messed up. Well, in the previous one it's most likely because I got in his way or something, but... Obviously that lap time would have been a lot faster, but yeah, partly because of the lap being invalidated. I do wonder if the AI for that Yuna Nakamura is also getting the laps invalidated or something like that. Or if he really is going that slow. Yeah. That was nice. Yeah, and at the end of the day, Yuna ended up in 5th place in the championship. At least I won them all. That's always nice in time attack. Because in time attack, you know that if you win, it means that you were the best one. Like, it doesn't mean that you use dirty tactics. Oh, speaking of time attack. So we already seen that here using anything other than the Koenigsegg is a waste of time, but the question is, well, I should use this one mostly because I already know what to expect from it. If it was a race, it will be a different story, but yeah, I guess for this one, since it's time attack, make sure that what you use works well. What the hell? What is this guy in front of me doing? Some weird shit. I kinda have to get used to the way this car handles, you know. Well, at least here, anyone that uses a Bugatti is already a free spot. Since we already seen how much slower they are in comparison. That's enough for a second place. Yeah, that was bad. With the Bugattis that I'm already seeing in front, if you don't overtake them by the time the next lap starts, yeah, good luck with getting a better time. Damn. Okay, someone died there, and it's to be expected after that asshole not knowing what to do after an accident in the middle of the track. Yeah, well, at least it worked for me. There is another Bugatti here, plus a Koenigsegg. Apparently this is still not enough for first place, but it should be more than enough for second, I think. We will see. It is... oh shit, I was paying too much attention to the lap times, god damn it. Well, I will basically have to leave the first place to him. See, after that first corner, you're definitely not getting it back. I accept a second place, though we will see how that Tang Chiang, how he does on the next ones. Hopefully not overly good, but we don't know about that. Because in time attacks you usually tend to have the same ones at the top. I guess the previous time attack event was an exception to that. Oh, and here we have rain. That's not good. The opponent here is Tang Qian. He's behind me, by the way. Yeah, it's an... Wait, was that a... Hold up. Oh, I thought it was terminal damage, but no. I need to do better than that. Come on. I think it's that here you are kinda just thrown into the action right away. That's... Okay. Yeah, handling this thing in rain is not very easy. At least I'm making the other guy waste time too. I don't really care that much about that. I care more about, you know, me getting a good time here. Considering that I think this is Sepang, it will be bound to be an issue, no matter what. Well, I say that it's Sepang because of the Malaysian flag in the background. But it's hard to recognize considering that it's not the full version, and also it's raining and it's nighttime, so yeah, double problem. I need 53. Not that bad, but well, and Tan Qian actually got a lap time better than mine. Despite the fact that he's right behind me being constantly blocked. This Tang guy really is struggling with me. Okay. The problem is that he got the first place again, and that is not something acceptable. Like, it was acceptable the first time, but not the second time. I definitely need to get a better lap time than him here. Because the only other exception will be if he, on the third track, gets a bad lap time, but judging by his record, he won't be. So I don't know why sometimes it's so extremely different, right? Like you saw in the other time attack event, the fact that no one really was a clear second place, but then you have this asshole being the very clear second/first place, so pretty old. Okay, I cannot do this first corner. What's going on? No, you have to brake early, but come on, dude. Sorry about that, Mr. Ferrari. I kinda didn't mean to do that. Kinda. That's first, but not for long. Damn. And it was by this asshole that I got dethroned. So this guy is very clearly on a different level than... Oh, what the hell? Okay. That was an interesting accident. You know, this tank guy is very clearly in a different level of everyone else. Like, they are not even close to him. I just hope the Ferrari behind me actually blocks him properly. And I would like to say that if that lap wasn't invalidated, it would be good enough for first, but no, it will not have been. Damn it. But when I say that they are not even close, I guess it's wrong. The third and fourth place have relatively close lap times. Damn, another accident. Hey, if there's any track and any condition that will be prone to accidents, is this track with rain. Unfortunately, this asshole slowed me down more than he should have right there. But this should be a PB, and it is. The issue is that if Mr. Tang actually overtakes the Ferrari, he might get a better lap time. Oh, he did overtook the Ferrari. Okay, so that's an issue. It's possible that this lap he will do a better one than mine. I hope no, but considering that he was held for so long by the Ferrari and now he's not held anymore, it is probably gonna be bad for me. Well, the only way to know is once we cross the finish line, if it says second or if it says first. What will it say? Okay, it says first, nice. The UI does something weird sometimes there. Alright, so we are tied, which means that whoever gets a better time on the third one here at Brands Hatch, reverse Brands Hatch, dude, really? At least it's not raining. Still annoying though. Oh, that was enough track, nice. I don't think of the idea of this guy being in front of me is an issue. That means I can mostly follow him. I think that in a track like this, having someone to guide you in front is important. Ah, damn it. The piano kinda fucked me over there. That last corner is so evil. That is the best lap time, but only because I didn't let this guy do any better. Now that I'm ahead of him, I will probably not allow him to get a better lap time than that. Hard to tell though, I mean, He did get a better lap time in the previous one when I was vlogging him, so might be the same thing here. That one will not be a lap time, guys. If it works like for the player, that lap has been invalidated. Interesting thing though is that apparently my lap time was good enough for no one else to do it better. I'm not sure how, but yeah, it's what I say, that this guy is definitely ahead of everyone else. Interesting thing is that he's not even in the top 4 for the lap times, but if he gets to complete like a lap being fully comfortable, he probably will appear there, and he probably even will surpass me, so yeah, I need to block him here. At this point I shouldn't try getting a better PB than the one I have. I should try holding him off. Like, no one else is gonna get a better time here, so my only objective is him. So yeah, as dirty as it is, the best thing I can try doing is holding him off. He's starting to lose patience, which is more than understandable. I mean, if I was him, I would have already taken me out. Probably not even past the first lap. Man. That's fucked up though. Because he clearly is faster than I am. There is no doubt. What's even more fucked up is that no one else, even without being bothered, can best me. That Yume Tanaka guy was close though. That's a very close time to mine, but the fact that it's not better means that, well, who cares how close it is. So that should be the win. Correct. He got 6th place. So yeah. Not an extremely elegant way of winning, but elegant enough, I guess. At least it didn't involve any deaths, right? It's something. Okay, so GT4 Legend with the Aston Martin Vantage. Okay, sure. Was this the one that had the Ferrari I was talking about earlier? No, right? No, this one is not. This one has the Nissan seal and I'm not sure which other. Oh yeah, this one is the one with the Mustang. In this category, I use the Mustang to drive, well, to compete, to race. It also has a Porsche. I think that's the Porsche in the cover of the game. Seems that one thing that all the cars in this category have in common is that like, they reach the top speed in straights and they cannot go over that. That's what I remember with the Mustang. You were in a straight, you reach the top speed you could reach, and then it will just stay there, throwing fire from the exhaust. Yeah, I'm not sure why they are made like that, I guess. Wouldn't it make more sense to, you know, like have a slightly better engine that allows them to go faster? Well, you could change the tuning so they have longer gears, but that was a problem. I shouldn't finish this race, so man, restarting is so painful so many times. So yeah, with something like that, that's definitely a penalty. Not to mention the shithead that was the nemesis right there. Would have been pretty hard to do anything. Okay, that guy is not my nemesis and yet he pretty much threw me out. Not very nice of you. I guess after using so many like ultra high performance cars, using these cars that, well, they are an actual racing category and they are obviously pretty fast by real life standards, but in this game it really feels like you are back at driving a brick. Well, the rain definitely doesn't help. Well, that and the fact that this is Red Bull Ring. Yeah, those two things definitely don't help. They still feel so slow and sluggish, right? Well, at least I ended up winning, but yeah, that really felt quite uncomfortable to drive. After the previous categories, at least. Okay, and what are the other two? Well, at least it's not raining, but then that's fucked up. It's Okutama and then Barcelona. That's pretty messed up, honestly. All the water drops on the camera count as shoot-em-up gameplay. That will be interesting, but no. I think the shoot-em-up gameplay here is kinda when one of these assholes has an accident and you are supposed to dodge if you don't want to die at high speed. That part is definitely more shoot-em-up than the rain. But yeah, I guess it looks nice, yeah. Like a shoot-em-up. Well, here, rather than the rain, you have the cherry petals to also make it look like a shoot-em-up. Don't try to explain what I just meant right now, because I don't want to dodge one of you guys dying if it's possible. To try to at least drive well. Or if you die, at least die far from me. What do you think about the Aston? Oh, I didn't realize. You know, since you, Hihan, and Wasabi, you have very similar profile pictures. I think, like, a lot of times I confuse both of you. Because, yes, I usually tend to look at the profile picture before I look at the name. My bad. How is it going, Hihan? What do I think about the Aston? Well, the issue with the Aston is that this whole category has cars that are pretty slow. I mean, it's GT4 after all. And yeah, they feel quite heavy and slow. Especially since the previous categories that I played here were a lot faster. Well, a lot faster and a lot easier to steer with. That's gonna hurt. Okay, that's fine. No problem. Just make it to the end. You're in third place. Okay, like that. I'm very clearly not an astronaut. That's what you think. No, I mean, it's pretty clear that if you pay attention to the profile picture, like by actually looking at it in, like, zoom in, and even not zoom in, it doesn't even look similar. But here, since the icons are small, I kinda should see colors, and the colors from afar are pretty similar, you know. That's to be expected, yeah. Yeah, GT4 is I'm pretty sure it's the slowest Grand Touring category, right? Well, at least now. Before that, probably no. I think it's supposed to be. I guess it's kind of like a Formula 4. Like, as far as I know, there is no Formula 5. So Formula 4 is like the slowest Formula category, right? Well, the slowest Formula category, at least approved by the FIA. Because I know that there are other Formula cars that are way slower than Formula 4. Well, maybe, I don't know if approved by FIA, but at least the ones that have that nomenclature, right? It's interesting because at the beginning I thought that FIA was an organization that only only represented Formula racing, but no, it's an organization that represents a lot more than that. Lots of categories that have nothing to do with open wheel, and I'm pretty sure that GT4 might also be part of the FIA. I don't know, maybe no, I wouldn't be surprised. Wait, I'll read that in a bit. If there's any track where, well, there are many tracks in this game where I cannot look away, but Barcelona is one of those that I hate with all my might, so looking away here will just make it worse. But worse than, as you can see, it's already being, because I'm in 8th place. So yeah, even worse than that. Really? You are blocking me and you become a nemesis because of that? Come on. Got him. I think that this is the position I'll finish with. I don't think I can reach those guys there. It's an anime design from Lance Stroll from his years in Williams, I think in 2017. It's from the Chapin Grand Prix. That's pretty nice. So why Stroll specifically? Are you a Lance Stroll fan? Oh shit. Damn, see, I'm a fan too. That's the reason why I wanted to imitate him right there. I mean, I'm kidding, but I find it pretty hard to believe that Lance Stroll has fans. Does he even have fans? I mean, maybe, I don't know. I thought he was one of the most hated Formula 1 drivers, wasn't he? Maybe not. I don't know. Also, I want to try this Koenigsegg. And also this lever is pretty simplistic, so I think I'm gonna use that one that I saw the other day. Assuming it's here, maybe it's not here. I think it was in art, wasn't it? Well, it probably was in art, but... Oh, it was this one, wasn't it? I think it was, probably. Maybe. But what about this dinosaur now? Ugly colors. I can use this one. Sure. I'm ironically Lance Stroll fan just to mock people on the internet. Okay. I mean, sure. I don't see any faults on that logic, right? Well, personally, I don't think I can really say I am a fan of any particular, like, Formula 1 driver. Like, when I say I'm a fan, I mean that I don't mind any before another, right? Like, I don't follow Formula 1 to that degree. Yeah, I don't know, I mean... It's a little bit hard for me to like follow anyone in particular, because in the first place, it's, you know, Formula One has shown multiple years that the car is clearly more important than the driver, even though the driver is of course something that has to be on point. There have been cases of teams where the same car supposedly being used by two different drivers yields extremely different results. I think the best example probably not, but one example I remember is the Mercedes back when Lewis Hamilton was dominating and his teammate was Valtteri Bottas, and the difference was pretty clear that Hamilton was completely killing it every race, and Bottas was just doing what he could, I guess. He didn't do extremely bad, if you compare him with Hamilton, the results speak for themselves, of course. But the point is that outside of those cases where you have a driver that is clearly worse than the other one in the same team, usually when you compare between different teams, it's a different story, right? Were there cases where the worst car won? I wouldn't know. There probably were. Though if that was the case, it probably will be because of unforeseen circumstances, like, you know, everyone in the top dying. Well, not literally, I mean like getting into a big accident or whatever, or if it's raining or something like that, or someone had issues in the quali, shit like that, right? In unforeseen circumstances, there probably were cases of the worst car winning, but yeah, normally not. The issue is that, you know, there is one very specific case I remember very well, where also when Hamilton was dominating, there was one race, I don't remember the year, I do remember it was in a Middle Eastern track, like, I'm not sure if it was in what's the name? I think it was Jeddah. I can't remember, though. It was one of those. And the point is that for whatever reason, Hamilton or someone, I think it was Hamilton, couldn't drive. I think it was around the time where COVID happened, right? So Hamilton couldn't drive and he was replaced by Russell, which at the time was a reserve pilot and not an actual like main pilot. And the thing is that he dominated the whole race until something happened in pits that forced him to be at the bottom of the grid. But if it wasn't for that pit accident, that every time that I remember it, I'm less and less convinced that it was an accident, and more that it was made on purpose to not make it seem like it was the car and not the driver. But the point is that, yeah, Russell dominated the whole race. Well, it was in Bahrain, and maybe it was in Bahrain. But I do remember it was around COVID, and as I said, until that incident in pits happened, Russell dominated the whole race by a lot. So at that point you are like, well, this guy that is a reserve pilot that, yes, he's very good as he has shown in these recent years, but he's performing exactly the same as the world champion, despite having very little practice with the car because he's a reserve pilot. Like he didn't really have that much live practice in a real race. And he dominated, just like Hamilton did. I haven't too interested into F1 in years. Got no real favorite driver. Now I just watch from time to time because you had a habit. Yeah, it was a fishy race. Yeah, I personally, I am willing to believe that the pit incident was on purpose so people wouldn't be like that and be like, wait, like the champion is only a champion because the car is extremely busted. Because yeah, the thing is that, because you might be thinking, well, no one is a moron and everyone can see with their own eyes and judge with their own eyes, but the thing is that races like that are forgotten to time, and when someone looks at the past, they look at the results and they are like, well, when Russell participated, he got a very bad result when Hamilton wasn't there, so that, you know, is like, that makes sense. That means that obviously he couldn't be as good as the world champion, when in reality it would have been the case if it wasn't for that incident. And that incident was obviously not his fault. So those are the kind of things that really make me wonder if it really happened on purpose or if it was truly an accident. Because yeah, anyone, if the race kept going as normal, like, the conclusion is pretty clear. The car barely even, the driver barely even matters. Like, yes, obviously these guys, if I were to go in his place, I would crash the car, clearly, but it's pretty clear that, you know, there isn't an insane difference between the world champion and everyone else. In terms of driver, the difference is in the car, right? That's the problem. And yes, obviously, multiple of the guys on the grid have an insane amount of time. Like, this is not to say that Hamilton is a fraud or that, you know, Russell sucks. No, like, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that if a lot of these super talented drivers were given equal opportunities when it came to the car they are driving, results will be completely different. Like, that's for sure. And I feel like that race fully, like, cemented that idea in my mind, right? Like, it was kind of like I don't know if I should use the word trauma, but it was kind of like an eye-opening experience, right? It's like them. Some reserve pilot can just enter one race, use the car of the world champion, and dominate like the world champion. So at that point, what does it even matter being a world champion, right? It's like, you know, is it even that legitimate? Being a world champion when a reserve pilot can do the same thing you do as long as it uses the same car, right? I'm convinced they ruined his race on purpose. Also, his team, a highly experienced one, messed up the strategy and pit stops. Yeah, that's what I thought as well when I saw that. Like, I'm like, you know, it's too much of a coincidence. It's like, I could understand if one of the pieces was not in place, right? Like, I could understand if it was, obviously, instead of Russell, if it was actual Hamilton, I could understand that mistake. It would be fucked up that a professional team like that is in the first place in the championship messes up like that, but hey, mistakes happen. Or if it was the other way, that Russell, you know, dominated like he did, and the pit stop, like, just went with no issues. Like, those two things obviously are believable, but the two things happening at once, that's the one thing that was sketchy. But yeah, then again, I think that in this day and age, not many people really have much faith in the FIA anyways. But it is true that Formula 1 remains as popular as always, so I don't think they are too bothered if they are seen with good eyes for, you know, the rest of the world or not. But also, ever since that race, I felt so bad for Russell, because imagine being in his shoes. Like, he's a reserve pilot that finally has the opportunity to actually participate in a real race. It's I think it was his first actual race. It's his debut, and he has, you know, everything to prove, and he would have been able to win his first race right there. Something that I don't know if it happened before in the history of Formula 1, probably, but it would have been an insane feat. And some assholes ruin it, and then you have to go back to being a reserve pilot, because eventually Hamilton went back to the seat. And I was like, damn, poor Russell, like all this shit. And I remember seeing memes mocking him, being like, you know, well, the trial period ended, right? Like, he being like using the main car in an actual race was a trial period, and after that, oops, you lose your chance. And I'm like, damn, dude, like, come on, the guy doesn't deserve that. But, well, at least I'm glad that when he became an actual pilot, he got some good placings. I mean, as far as I know, Russell is doing well, you know, so, which, I mean, is to be expected. If he was able to dominate like that in that race, he clearly can compete with the best, but yeah. I guess it could be worse. It's one of those things that I feel like always stay with you. Like, I'm not talking out myself here, but rather about Russell. Like, I feel like he will never forget that, like, his opportunity to win his debut race being ruined by a team of morons. Like, there's no way. Well, you can definitely get over it, but it's always gonna be there in your head, being like, but what if that didn't happen? I actually could have proved myself just like that. It sucks. Formula 1 is a championship of engineered teams. That's what pays the most at the end of the year. After all, the drivers' championship is a symbolic thing. If you put all the drivers in the same car, they wouldn't be 4 or 8 tenths away from the fastest or the slowest. No, I understand that the main appeal of Formula 1 is that it's basically who can make the fastest car, right? Like, I know it's been like that for, well, I don't know if forever, I guess. I'm not an expert in the history of Formula 1, but at least for as long as I have memory, that's been the case, that it is a championship to see which manufacturer can come up with the best car. But considering that every other formula, well, as far as I know, every other formula competition has cars that are completely equal in performance, I feel like the fact that Formula 1 is not like that is kind of annoying. But yeah, I guess it's whatever. It was forever like that? Okay. Yeah, and I do realize that things like Formula 2, 3, and 4 are more like test grounds for pilots rather than a competition for, you know, anything else, right? Like, yeah, obviously who wins is important and whatnot, but it's mostly for a way to future Formula 1 pilots to get used to how it is to drive one of those things, and also for Formula 1 teams to be like, oh, this guy is performing well, maybe I will sign him up next year, right? But it still will be nice. At least I feel like it will be entertaining to see the Formula 1 guys in a race where they all drive the same car. Like, obviously that will completely break the key faith of a lot of drivers, but like, it will be so entertaining. Right, like, they wouldn't do it, they probably will never do it, but imagine if one weekend the drivers, you know, use the cars that they normally use, right? Like the ones that are this thing between each others. But then the next weekend they all use the same car, and then they keep switching like that. So the first one goes to the manufacturer championship, the team championship, right? And the second one goes to the driver championships, like whatever points they get. I feel like that will be so entertaining, but yeah, like they wouldn't do that. Also, fuck that guy that just made me spin out. I should be able to recover though. I mean, the first place is completely gone, yes, but everyone else is not. Remember to say before that the Astons are born turning into cars? Well, I'm personally, from an aesthetic standpoint, I'm not the biggest fan of Aston Martin. Like, usually my perfect aesthetic for cars is like 90s Japanese sport cars. Like, obviously the Skyline. Like, to me those are like, I don't know if I will say the pinnacle, but that's the aesthetic I like the most. And even better if you turn those cars into racing cars, right? Aston Martin personally never really found that they stand out to myself. But then again, you gotta keep in mind that my taste is not very refined in general. Like, for example, things like coffee or things that tend to be, you know, sour, like things that are not sweet, I tend to not like them. Now, you can say that my taste is that of a child, and you will probably be right. Yeah, I think that I don't have a very big appreciation for finer things. I guess I'm very simple-minded. So yeah, things like Aston Martin cars don't really do much to me. Wait, is this a single race? Wasn't paying attention, but if this is a single race, I've been wasting my time. Yes, I will need to win, obviously. No, it's 3. Okay, never mind. No, we're fine, we're fine. But yeah, I personally, you know, well, Porsche is another one, for example, that I never really like the way they look. Like, you know, my problem with Porsche and Aston Martin is that, to me, all of them look so similar to each other that it kind of becomes hard to differentiate them. And the shape in itself is not the one I prefer, so to me it's like I have no reason to like either of them. Like either Aston Martin or Porsche. It's fine. It happens. I guess I'm just a pleb. See, I mean, regardless of what you think about Aston Martin, I do know that Aston Martin is supposed to be like a high class car, right? Like, it's supposed to be the fancy car, the one that everyone wants. So I know that it's not just you, the one that holds that opinion, but yeah, I personally cannot care for the Aston Martins. Porsches are stretched out Volkswagen Beetles. That's an interesting way of saying it, yeah. I guess you have a point. In fact, you know, I think that there was a time where I thought that the Volkswagen Beetle was a Porsche. Now that I think that your comments should, like, shock my memory. Like, yes, I think at some point I looked at a Volkswagen Beetle and I was like, oh, this is a classic Porsche. No, it's not. So yeah, you might be right, actually. The thing is that Porsche, also being another brand that is supposed to be fancy and high class and all of that, is one that I never really like. Like, I admit that the design of the typical Porsche, like 911, is super iconic and all of that, but as iconic as it is, I'm not the biggest fan of the way it looks. So yeah, to me, as I say, well, for example, this car, like this modern Corvette, I like it. It's not my favorite or anything like that, but I think it looks cool, right? Like it's a car that looks nice. Well, in fact, in this category, I could probably say that about most of the cars. Like, well, yeah, the Viper, for example, here, I think one of the cars is the Dodge Viper. The Dodge Viper is one of my favorite models of cars. Like, I really like the way it looks. And then you have the Ferrari, well, not sure exactly what's the name of the model, but I also like that one. Not sure what else. Oh, I think the Ford, there is a modern Ford GT here. That one is cool too. These are the ones that I will kind of put in the level of nice, right? Except the Viper. The Viper, I do think that it's one level above this Corvette and the Ferrari. But yeah. And well, I also really like the way Formula cars look too. As you probably know, since I never own a car and I never drive a car in real life, my taste is purely aesthetic. And even then, it's still, I guess, a very ignorant taste, because my biggest interaction with cars is through video games. So yeah, you can say that I'm a racing secondary, right? You know how in fan bases you have the word secondary to refer to someone that only consumes content related to that fan base through secondary works. So for example, let's say I don't know, like Dragon Ball, right? Like Dragon Ball is a manga that also got turned into an anime, but it also has a lot of other stuff like video games. So let's say that you only play the Dragon Ball video games and never read the manga or watch the anime. Well, you're kind of a secondary, right? That's what it means to be a secondary. So when it comes to cars and racing and all of that, I'm the biggest secondary there is. Never having interacted with them in real life, well, outside of as a passenger, obviously. But yeah, not of a racing car, that's for sure. Only of commute cars. But yeah, I guess you can say I'm a very big secondary. And you put Suzuka in reverse. You know, I was about to be glad that this is the full version of Suzuka, only to realize you're doing it in reverse. Man, why don't you grab a dildo and shove it up your ass in reverse? See how it feels. So I definitely don't like seeing these tracks in reverse. Especially since I think this is the first time in the game that we do the full version of Suzuka, right? Which feels like even more of a waste. So what, balls first? Yeah. I mean, if anything, it's what these guys deserve for daring to sully Suzuka Circuit name by putting it in reverse the first time it shows up. Very fucked up, honestly. Ah, fuck. Okay, that's fine. Another thing that I noticed, just like I noticed in the previous events that happen in Suzuka Circuit, is that the AI is pretty decent here, with the exception of the first corner in reverse. For some reason, the first corner in reverse, these guys cannot do it fast enough. And the issue is that, well, with them blocking me like this, it's not like they give me... no way, really. Well, skipping that chicane in Suzuka is very common. And I guess it's even more common if you do it in reverse. But I don't know if I should restart now, because that penalty might be an issue. But assuming that I can have the same pace that the first place has, if I overtake all these guys, even with the penalty, it should only be a second place. But that's the problem. I don't know if I can have this pace. But we will try. The objective here is reaching the first place. Not to overtake him, but simply... It's not gonna happen if you do it like that. The issue, as always, here is that I gotta do these corners without a guide. And yeah, like if it was regular Suzuka, yeah, no problem, but it's reverse too. Like, these corners in reverse are like a completely different track. At the same time, with the amount of points I have, like, let's say that with this penalty I get a 4th place, that's still good enough to win, most likely. Also, my teammate is following right behind. That's interesting. That's also pretty interesting. Damn it, I thought that by slowing down there it wouldn't give me a penalty. Well, the issue is that with that, you can forget. Like, that's probably 5 seconds minimum. I'll keep going though. Because, I mean, at this point restarting, well, it will save me 2 minutes if I restart right now, but... whatever. We will figure it out on the spot what happens. My guess is that it's 5-second penalty. And if it is 5-second penalty, it's probably gonna be 6th place or something. Which is bad, but... This fucking corner, dude. That made me waste so much time. Any advantage that I could have gained instantly disappear. You know, this is definitely not gonna be 6th place. This is gonna be 10th place or worse. There is absolutely no way this will be enough. Hey, I wanna at least see it with my own eyes. And once it happens, see if the points are enough. They probably are not gonna. Like, I probably will need to redo this race. It's 8th place. Oh, it was 3 seconds, okay. It was enough to win the championship, so I don't care. Give it to me. Give it to me. It went well. So the next one is Track Day Specials Europe, and unfortunately starting with Barcelona. So here I wanna test how this car does. Unfortunately though, this is the hard version of Barcelona, but since I didn't try this car, hey, maybe this one is easier to drive than the Ford GT. Unlikely, but we will see. I wouldn't really say that compared to the Ford GT it's like worse or better. The issue is that this track sucks regardless of the car you use, so that's the real issue here. Especially this version of the track. This version of the track is the one that has no slow corners. It's essentially all super fast corners, but obviously corners that you cannot do at full speed. So yeah, it's the one that fucks me over every time. Yeah, I feel like I will probably need to quali, though every time I try qualing here I also do badly, so not sure what the solution will be here. Well, the solution will be eating good, but that's pretty hard to, you know. Damn it. Alright, I'll try a quali, but I don't think it's gonna go well. Probably not. I also don't know, again, if the Ford GT here will give me any advantage. I also don't think so. Well, regardless, we will see. Something's bound to happen. Doing it like that is not gonna take you very far. I just don't understand, dude, how this track can be so mind-blowingly hard. Like, I don't understand why. Like, what's the reason for it being too hard? And I'm not talking about the, like, from a developer standpoint. I'm talking about what is it that makes it so hard? Like, am I really that bad at, like, high-speed corners or what? Or is it really just the AI being super good for no reason? I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. In 2 seconds and a half behind. But dude, what do you want me to do? You want me to attach a rocket to my car? Is that gonna help? And that's more than 3 seconds. Yeah, that's last place. I mean, I don't think it's gonna change, but I wanna try the Ford GT to see how it does here, but I really don't know what to do. Like, it just seems so impossible. It really does. I guess I'll try this one, see how it goes. I wanna try the quali first. I probably will not do it right, but at least by trying it with the quali you can do a direct comparison of performance. Nice start. That disadvantage is not as bad as the previous one, but probably will get worse. I think it's not as bad as the previous one, it's just that it's also not nearly enough of what it should be. Well, it was better than doing no quali, but barely. I guess I'll take it, because it's not like you need to win this race, just that in the previous attempt I wasn't even close to the podium, and here I don't expect to get to the podium either, but like a 5th place I think will be an acceptable result. I mean, normally it wouldn't, but yes, in this track I'll take anything, dude, I don't care. Like, just let me get out of here, you know? That's what I want. This piano, like, there are so many things out this shitty ass track that I hate. You know? Like, so many little things that make it into the absolute garbage dumpster it is. Also the fact, like, again, so many things I hate about this track, and that's one of them. So little space to overtake, and you end up getting taken out even by accident by other guys, simply because there's so little room to do anything. But like any urban track, really, but even more annoying. Like, the pianos in this track are made to mess you up. They don't have any practical purpose. Or rather, the practical purpose is to mess you up. This is unplayable. Like, I feel like it's even borderline unplayable with how shitty this track is. Now, you know, peanut butter cracker, I don't know what that is, but sure. I don't think we have those here. Well, peanut butter in general is not very common here. Okay, I'll try another quali to see if I can have less shitheads in front of me. I don't think it's gonna work, but this is torture right now. This is just so extremely annoying. Oof. I think my salt levels are rising exponentially right now. That's an issue. That was too slow. The game doesn't consider it like that, but I disagree with the game. Cannot avoid being 1 second behind, huh? Yeah, we essentially have something called dulce de leche, that is indeed. Oh, you gotta go? Okay, have a good one, Hihan, and thanks for hanging out. We'll continue to suffer in this shitty ass track, but hopefully not for long. Though it's looking like it will be for long. Then again, I could just quit this trash and play another event, you know? It's not like I need to do this one right now. I almost did that without hitting that stupid ass wall. It's impossible to go to the second checkpoint without being 1 second behind. It's insane. Like, it's not physically possible. Okay, that's way better. Let me try like this. If I keep going, I could probably get to the podium even with the quali, but I don't want to spend time in this garbage of a track. Garbage of a track, I mean garbage dump of a track or whatever. I don't care. Just know that I really fucking hate this track, so any insult that comes to your mind is probably the one I'm thinking of. any bad thing I can say about this track is one I will want to say. Like, if I manage to keep this position until the end of the race, I will be fine with it. Like, I don't really care. That's the issue, keeping it. I cannot keep it. No, I probably should be fine with a 6th place. I should just be fine with it. Okay. Can you keep this position? Or can you not? Someone died. Alright, a 3rd place is very good, but again, it's all about keeping it. It would be nicer if I could approach those guys, simply to at least have a guide. Yeah, that's the issue. To approach them, you kinda have to go faster than them, and I don't think that's something I can do right now. I think I am approaching them slowly but surely. Well, the guy behind me is also approaching me. At least I like the fact that I'm keeping up with them, even if I'm not getting closer. My pace right here looks to be... and that's what I get for talking. I fully deserve that. For not just remaining silent. At least that guy behind me set me straight there. I need to survive one more lap after this one. Oh, I just saw one of those car parts disappear from the track. I mean, obviously it makes sense that's the case. They wouldn't just stay there forever, right? Wouldn't be very resource efficient. I mean, well, here I'm seeing many of these disappear. I definitely will take this. Team, that was such a pain in the ass, dude. The amount of shit I had to do just to get a third place. The third place is more than enough to win the championship if I can get a decent result here at least. So yeah, let's get it. Shame that it's raining, but I think in Silverstone there's been more instances of it raining than being completely clear. That wasn't pretty nice. Okay, so I feel like this position is probably not enough, but if I get another third place, I think it should be enough for sure. So the third place here. Okay, so this group is for the second place. Yeah, I should be able to get this then. I don't like the fact that they are getting further. I obviously don't care about the first place, but I don't like these two getting further. Okay, well, I guess now they are not getting further. Thankfully, neither of them became a nemesis. They definitely have patience of steel. Well, considering that this is still not halfway through the... Well, this will be the halfway point of the race. Yeah, I can probably win this, actually. Yeah, I definitely can win this. Assuming I don't get into an accident. Differently from the shit that is Barcelona, I feel like the worst thing that could happen here is me getting a penalty. Like, I don't think I will get an actual accident in a track like this. Though, it also depends on once I get the lead, when I essentially have no guide, like right now. How many corners am I gonna fail? Will be many. Wait, right? No, it's left. Damn it. If only the minimap was more useful. Like, really, the minimap in this game has to be the most useless out of all of the grid games so far. On the right side, not paying that much attention to the minimap at least makes me appreciate the graphics even more as I look at the screen as a whole more than I look at just a small part of it. And there's the penalty. You wanted the penalty, you have it. God damn it. Well, seems the worst case scenario here should be third place, right? I hope. Remember, here it's to the left, not to the right. Oh shit. Yeah, unfortunately, if this penalty is real, this is probably gonna be worse than third place. I want to believe it won't. It's probably third place. It's fifth place. We'd have to, well, I still win them, and I win with the same amount of points. So I thought that the points always favor the CPU, but I guess not. Well, I hope you don't back out now, game. Hey, that's a win, and it's a win no matter what, right? Yeah, it is. Well, that's the first time I win a championship by tying. But I'll take it. Yeah, according to the UI, it was gold, so it was gold. Oh, and we're gonna be using NASCAR. Oh, and we start in oval, are you kidding me? Even worse, oval and rain. Well, I'm not even gonna try anything stupid here, just make it all the way to long gears. Shame that it's 8 laps, dude. I guess the only new thing here is that it's raining, but I'm pretty sure I also already did an oval race while it was raining. Problem is this corner. You kinda wanna brake a little bit there. Amazing. Oh, and man, I really think the Nemesis system might be one of the most infuriating things this game has. Because a lot of times they are justified, but some other times they are 100% not justified. And that was one of them. Ah, damn it, dude. See, like for example, that one is justified. And it didn't actually get it, so yeah. It's a system that, just like the Toge penalties in the first grid game, it's a system that is nice in concept, but the execution is just not very good. Also, yeah, this first corner is the one that I need to break. Like, you don't realize at the beginning because you start the race slow. When you actually go through the lap once and you do it at full speed, you know that this is where you need to brake. Shame that it took me 2 attempts to figure it out. At least I didn't go straight to the wall there. It's just pressing the brake once, it's enough there. And here, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm using the long gears, I wouldn't be able to approach this guy so easily, right? No, what the hell? I almost spin out there. There are 8 laps, so it doesn't matter too much. Really? At least I made it to first. So as long as I don't mess up on the first corner, I should have this in the bag. Yeah, I think the whole point of this, like the upper side of this DLC, is to basically go through all of the categories in the main career. Not sure why, like it's a nice thing, and I guess it also offers lots of variety because every single event is with a different category, but I don't understand the idea of putting that in a DLC season. That's the part that I feel that doesn't make much sense. I feel like it's pretty bad when a game like Drive Club does the DLC events better than you. In Drive Club, every single DLC group of events, it's like, I'm pretty sure there wasn't a single race that didn't have new content in one way or another. Well, now that I think about it, there might be a couple of them that did, and they suck, but lots of them also had, like the majority of them exclusively use the new content. And that's because the new content was certainly more plentiful than it is in this game. I mean, As much as I like the way this DLC season is structured compared to the other two, this still only has 2 pieces of new content, which is the other Hypercar category and Suzuka Circuit. Everything else was already in the game. Even those categories that never really showed up as something that you could pick and they were only in invitationals, yeah, those were already in the game. Even if in short form, I guess. Once you overtake the final opponent, this becomes a snooze fest as you would expect. Well, if it is true that every category here in the upper row is different in every event, then I'm assuming this is the last time you will see these cars too. I hope. Okay. Well, now for the second race, I gotta remember to put the gears back to normal, unless it's also... Okay, never mind. It's another oval. So yeah, forget about it. The tuning stays, I guess. God damn it, dude. It's fine. I guess it is what it is. Yeah, these two you definitely could have not put them here and it wouldn't have made any difference. But oh well, I guess you did put them here. This is the corner that you have to brake on. At least it's nice to overtake one after another like this, but considering that it's 8 laps long, like that's just way too long for like all 15 opponents. Like you're gonna just have a lot of extra time where you're simply in the lead. Well, like it happened in the previous race, basically. Okay. So yeah, basically at this point you kinda stop worrying about anything. Well, aside from braking in time in this corner, I guess. Okay, other than that, you're more than fine. I guess it's because I'm not doing the corners fast enough, but I guess these guys are still applying some pressure for now. Yeah, maybe it's not gonna be as free as the previous one once I take the lead. But yeah, don't get too cocky yet. It's not a good enough time yet. Though we are past the halfway point at least. Though, to be fair, at least the name of the event is Oval Endurance. So they do acknowledge that these things are longer than they should be. But yeah, like, pretty nice you are self-aware, but I think it would have been better if you wouldn't have included them. That was almost straight to the wall. I think that corner is the one that is kinda filtering me right now. In total it's like 6 minutes and a half, pretty much. I will say a little bit too much, but whatever. It is what it is. That was pretty close. The final lap. And that should be it. A little bit annoying, really. Again, this would have been better if it wasn't there. Neither of these two races, but whatever. At least it was a free victory, I guess. But yeah, give it to me. So I think we can do one more with this one. Track day specials. Oh, it's time attacks. Well, I already decided to use the Force GT here, so at least that should be fine. Unfortunately, it's raining. I think that, well, I don't know how long. Oh, it's 5 laps, so this might take a while. This probably will be the final event for today. I also know how long it will take me to get the best lap times here. Maybe that will take me a while. I don't know. Anything is possible. Especially in a track like this with rain. That's so perverse. Like, extremely perverse, dude. Like, a track with these super sharp corners with rain. Like, it's just a disaster. Well, it's 5 laps, but the total lap time is less than a minute, so I guess it could be worse. That wall impact wasn't good though. Well, not that bad considering how bad I perform, I think. All in all, it was good. I think I can definitely get the top time without that much effort. Oh, the top time is also changing, we will see. Maybe I spoke too soon. No, it might be fine. It all depends on this last set of corners that kinda fucked me over on the previous lap. These are the typical corners where each one depends on the previous one. But you know, that's good enough. And sure, it's good enough for now, but I'm not sure if these guys can do faster than that. This is like 57 is probably their limit. So I think I should be fine, probably. Interesting also that I'm not really overtaking anyone. Well, that lap time was significantly worse than my PB. It probably has to do with that. I guess it is time to overtake now. Sorry, but you will be kinda getting in my way. That's the first overtake of the season. I mean, of the event. And that's the second to last lap, so it's an interesting statistic. Well, that previous lap was close to my PB, but yeah, my PB was something that I won't be able to replicate. That doesn't matter, guys. Even if my PB was the previous lap, I still will be first. So yeah, no problem. I didn't check which one the next track is. Hopefully nothing annoying. We're about to find out anyways. Okay. So, what do we get for the last event of the stream? Of this stream, obviously. Wait, what? Oh, it's Indianapolis. Yeah, sorry. I saw the image on the poster, but no, that's just the poster of the whole event. It's Indianapolis and without rain, surprisingly. I think that in most cases that I did Indianapolis, it wasn't super easy to win a time attack here. At least it didn't seem like it. Ah, fuck. Yeah, that's fine, whatever. I mean, since I already have the lap time invalidated, might as well. Yeah, that section that I skip the corner seems quite annoying. This track I do remember that multiple times, not just in time attack but in races. Every time it felt like the CPU showed some very clear superiority. That was gonna be a lap invalidation as well, but no. Kinda needed to overtake you. Oh, okay, that final corner wasn't good, but I think that should be enough to be the top time, right? It is. Well, and even if it isn't the... nice. Even if it isn't the top time, I think that I still should be able to win the championship. Not to, because the guy that is supposedly in second place in the championship isn't even in the top 4, so unless he gets there later, it should be fine. Like, at this point, I don't give a fuck about exceeding the track limits. Like, even though that time can be bested, my position will most likely be fine. The only exception is if the guy that bested is the guy that is in second place on the championship, but that seems unlikely right now. be able to mark another PB before finishing the event, actually. Assuming that the guy in front doesn't block me. Shame that I had to take you out of the track, but it happens. I think that this is a PB. Yeah, it is. And a nice PB. And with this, we essentially guarantee a victory. That guy definitely doesn't. With that, I also confirmed that this is the last event for the day. This was some nice progress, and more importantly, I should be able to finally finish the game tomorrow. Like I don't think I will even wait more streams. I think that the idea is to actually just do it on the next stream, because, you know, if the next one is the last one, I don't see any reason to delay it. Like, the main reason to put other games in between is so this doesn't become repetitive. But if I know that it's gonna end, then might as well just end it next time, right? Okay. So, yeah, that's a very convincing victory and all of that. I do want to know what's the next thing that shows up here. Like, what I will have to see tomorrow. Oh, these are the weird... Okay, that's gonna be hard. At least they are races, but... These are those weird cars that are like the 80s cars or something that are kind of hard to drive. Also, one thing I want to know, so in season 2, these things are called Track Day GT. Well, they are called GT basically, even though they are hypercars, but here is where they actually get called hypercars. That's very confusing. Well, who cares? Point is, as I say, the idea is tomorrow to, you know, continue and actually finish the game once and for all. But yeah, I should be able to finish this tomorrow. I don't see any way where that wouldn't happen. Well, I could get stuck in one event, but I feel like even then, I'd rather do a 4-hour stream rather than not finishing it. So that's the plan. So in any case, thanks everyone a lot for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next stream. So have a good one and take care.